And welcome back to eBEFOREi Video Reviews. Today I'm taking a look at MP-20 Takara Transformers Masterpiece WHEELJACK. It's a mouthful, but finally we have a proper masterpiece level design in our favorite scientist guy, the fix-it of all fix-its, the creator of the Dinobots, WHEELJACK. Now as you can see looking at the car mode, he looks really good all the way around. Wanted to pop that piece back in. So anyway, now he looks good all the way around. Very faithful to the Generation 1 version of WHEELJACK. And now this is a scaled about the same size as the Nissans, and we'll do some comparisons here in a few minutes. But overall, very happy with the way the paint looks. The very classic green, white, and red color scheme. Kind of fan folded down back, I think is interesting. I don't know if I love that, but maybe that's accurate. Bottom of the car, no real robot pieces at all. So looking at this toy, it looks like a car, and it doesn't look like a very obvious transformer. Let's take a closer look at the vehicle itself. So there we have an up-close look, and you get a good sense of the color, that deep red in the wheels. Do have a metal bolt connecting that one. The back looks like a plastic piece keeping that together, so a bit of an offset there. Again, more of the bottom says made in China. If you thought this was made in Paraguay, you are wrong. China. So yeah, so more of the green, white, and red all the way around. The Lancia decals are all there. Autobot symbol on top looks good. Very nice there. Inside you see a little bit of a steering wheel. Can you see that? Yeah, they've got a molded steering wheel in there. So one day I'd like to see a cartoon where a guy walks up to a Transformer and he can't get in because it's full of kibble. He just can't open the door. Anyway, but this one looks good. So there's your close-up view. Now I did have to attach the side mirrors. So do note that that does not come on. No big deal. They go on pretty easy. Now let's do a comparison with another figure. Let's take a look at Transformers Prime WHEELJACK. So you can see how this scales next to a deluxe figure. I mentioned he's about the same size as the Nissans, and I'll show you them in robot mode. But there he is next to a deluxe. A lot of people complain that the Masterpiece figures are about deluxe scale, bigger than the more recent deluxes, as you can see. So there you go. Masterpiece has a good bit of size on the other. So yeah, he's thicker, he's wider, all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and get him transformed, shall we? The directions here are pretty good, but you may want to go a bit out of order to keep things straight. It does actually say to take the feet, kind of take the front of the car, and wiggle them loose, which should be no big deal. Then snap the back just like that. From there you can kind of unhook the doors, just kind of, they're tabbed in. Just get them under the hooks and under the tab, and they should pop right out. From there, reach in and grab the leg, pull it out. That's the whole front of the car. It just pulls out. Give it a good pull till it snaps in place. Not a loud snap, but you do feel when it's right. Now grab the whole top of the cockpit area. Sadly does not open. At least I haven't found a way to open it. It did open on the G1 toy. But you want to lift that whole section up just like that. Now you can make the feet. You've got a dual hinge, and this doesn't seem like it would be difficult, but it is a little bit odd getting it just right. You want to make sure that it's kind of flat so that you've got that hinge and it makes that foot flat up against the deal. When you've got it, it'll look just like... I don't know why. It just seems like it's overly difficult. No, trust me, it's just me. There, just like that. So when you've got it, you've got a real flat look to the bottom of it, and you're pretty much good there. Now, you can take the side of the feet and leave them just like that, but what you should do is bend it around and put it on the foot. Now, and it pegs right in too, by the way. You've got a tab right there, and it pegs into the bottom. Now, you really don't have to do this, because if you don't, you know, you'll lose some stability. The ankle will look better, because you won't have the gaps in the sides, but you lose some of the ankle pivot and stability of the figure, so I just go ahead and follow the directions there. Come around to the back, take these two little pieces right there and move them up. Rinse and repeat on the other side, and there you go. Now you want to take that whole section and swivel it down, all right? And then that in itself is just going to kind of go around like that, and it doesn't lock hard into place. You do have a tab where it fits in there, but you know, just give it a good push, It's not quite as solid as you might think, but it doesn't come loose either, so I guess mission accomplished. Moving on to the upper body. Wow, that's a bright light I've got there. So just open up the chest like that, and you've got a head reveal. Just bend that bit down, and you want to take the head, just put your fingers in there, pop it up. Oh, very iconic head. Close the chest back up, and you know, on this camera, especially in this light, it looks like there's a bunch of seams in that chest. In person, it's not that bad at all. Obviously, my camera needs a reboot. It's got blue vision. Anyway, there's a plastic tab right there. I can't reboot the camera now. Silly technology. Anyway, take that plastic bit and move it down like that. Lift up the ribbed window for his pleasure, and that'll give you some clearance for the arms. Go ahead and pull them out, one after the other, and you're basically just unfolding his arms. Got a spring there, a little bit of a spring action. Keeps everything all tidy when he's in robot mode. I appreciate it. I like that quite a bit. Okay, so built into it is his wings, very iconic wings. They seem a bit flimsy, but I don't feel like I'm going to break it. Just be careful, just in case. You got to swivel that around, and once you do, it kind of locks into place. Not with a snapping lock, but there's a piece of plastic that stops it from going any further, and that's when you know you've got it right. From here, I'm going to take the arms, the sides of the arms there, and just kind of separate them. Just pull them out. And do the same thing over here. Now, to avoid a headache, you've got that dual hinge in the back. You need to make sure that it's all the way down, so it's flat up on the top, and then all the way down on the back, so that you can take these side pieces and kind of fit them into their tabs. So when done correctly, it's going to fit real flush up against that, and the chest piece fits just perfectly. All right, now we can bend these up a little bit more since we have the back completely in place, and you see how perfect that looks. Looks really nice. Now there's where the spring bit comes into play. You see it doesn't lock in place, but the spring keeps it there fine. Covers up the wheels in his back, so his name is not Wheelback. And yeah, it looks good. Now we just have to finish the arms, and we're pretty much done here. The arms are pretty fun, I must admit. What you do with the arm, you take the spoiler there, and you turn it. And then you take the hand part, and you pull it out. Pretty simple, but very effective. Rotate the joint. Go ahead and turn it so that he's properly. Now, you don't want him to have gorilla arms, unlike his G1 version did. So put the joint forward, bend the fist, and then you have a proper Wheeljack type arm. Now, if you want it to look G1, you could leave it gorilla-esque, but do what you want. You paid for it. Up here at the top, you're going to do the same thing. Take the spoiler. Which way do I turn it? Hang on a second. There you go. So go ahead and spin the thing around. And twist the arm. Give yourself the joints. And believe it or not, we're pretty much done. So let's go ahead and... Oh, wait, you know what we need to do? We need to attach his shoulder weapon. Let's do that now. All right, grab the iconic cannon. And you can put it on either one. You've got holes on each side of his shoulder. If you want to be Jackie accurate, you got to put it right there on his right shoulder, your left, depending on which way you're facing. And you might need to look at your hands for the R and the L to figure out which one is which. But I have confidence that you can do it. You can bend those things down a bit more, but it slots into a perfect place. And by the way, I should mention that there is some movement on the cannon, so you can tilt it up and stay in there. You can tilt it up. It'll stay up at a slight angle, just like that. It looks real nice. Now I'm going to reboot my camera, clean this blue crap out of the lens, and put his weapon in as well. And then I'll stand him up and pose him up, and we'll take a closer look. And here you have a very proper white background Wheeljack in his robot mode. Take a look around. This guy looks beautiful. Considering there was zero, and I mean zero, robot kibble in his vehicle mode, and his robot mode has very little car kibble aside from the obvious feet and such. Really just well done by Takara. Let's get up close. Head sculpt is perfection. Really it is. I mean, no light piping. Like all Masterpiece figures, he has blue painted eyes. But that's a perfect head of Generation 1 Wheeljack. Very, very nice. Looking at more detail, he's got that translucent wings in the back. The G1 toy, I think, was orange, or am I wrong about that? I could be wrong about that. Neat how they've got a wheel there. See that? It's a fake wheel. So it looks like during transformation that car wheel slotted nicely into his arm. I guess that was on the cartoon model. That's why they did that. But regardless, it's neat, but it is a fake wheel. There's the ankles, and you can see how I have them turned. Now again, you can put them back to fill it in. And I've seen pictures, and people say, oh, it looks better, leave it like that. And you can, but you lose some of the pivot there. See what I mean? It just kind of looks weird, and yeah. So I would give him the stability and put it under, but again, completely up to you. How articulated is he? I'm glad you asked. Well, he's pretty articulated. His head is on a ball joint. You can look up and down. Actually, it's not quite a ball joint, but he has up and down movement and left and right and all the way around. Arms, you see he's on that dual swivel. Swivel right underneath the shoulder, elbow hinge, and wrist do move. Waist movement, dual on the universal dual on the leg. Knee joint, pivot in the foot that I've already talked about. So you can put this guy in all kinds of neat positions. If you're talented. I am not. So let's move on. Size compare. For the longest time, this Jackie was one of my favorites. He's been outdone now. Still cool, but you can see that Masterpiece, even though I've got him all bent down, still quite a bit larger than the Generations Wheeljack. There's a comparison of both, kind of going around both figures. Looks good. Either one of these are recommended, but if you're looking for real on-screen cartoon accuracy, Masterpiece, of course, comes closer. All right, here he is next to Masterpiece Smokescreen, and I've straightened up Wheeljack's legs to show you that he's even, I think, a little bit taller than Smokescreen. So he's not short by any means. This Wheeljack figure's got some decent size to him, and together with the other Nissans and really all of the Masterpiece figures, he really does scale quite perfectly and looks very, very nice. Did you really think I wasn't going to put G1 Jackie in there? So there's the size comparison between Generation 1 Wheeljack and Masterpiece. That's the Jackie that started it all. One of my favorite figures as a kid. I mean, really, this guy had wheels in the front and Jackie's got them on the side there, but very similar looking in the way that they're built up. Obviously, just, one is, yeah, well, I don't need to get into it. Two very good figures. Love my G1 Jackie, and what a great update in the Masterpiece line. Very, very happy for this figure. Before we go here, let's take a quick look at the directions that come with it, all in Japanese, of course, but you do get some very nice pictures and animated drawings, or drawings of the transformation itself. You also get some cool stuff here as far as pictures from the TV show. There's this laser gun pic, and you see him and Ironhide and Bumblebee just blasting Decepticons, which is awesome. And they graciously gave us his tech specs in English. So his strength is a 7, intelligence 9, speed 7, endurance 5, rank 8, courage 9, fire blast 7, and skill is a 10. Way to go, Jackie. Oh, the box is pretty spiffy too. Official Lancia endorsed product. Pretty neat. And he's a Lancia Stratos Turbo. I'm guessing that's fast. So I'll leave you with this parting shot of these three great legends together. If you're a fan of Wheeljack, or you like really good, well-sculpted Transformers that have some complexity in the transformation, not overly complex, and really tries its darndest to be Generation 1 and cartoon accurate, pick up this Wheeljack. You will not be disappointed. Now, he's not currently available in North America, so you do have to import him. He may be available in North America. I'd imagine he'll probably be released at some point at Toys R Us. But in the meantime, you have to order him through any of your favorite websites. You know where they are, and go look them out. You'll find him, get him for a decent price, bring this guy over, and honestly, I don't think you'll be disappointed. Thanks again for listening and watching eBEFOREi video reviews. I appreciate it so much. The absolute best thing you can do for me, if you like my videos and want me to continue doing them, is to spread the word to your friends, let them know about this channel, and have them subscribe. Now, by subscribing, all they're doing is clicking a subscribe button in YouTube, and it's done. And they're subscribed. And anytime I do a new video, they just need to check back and see. Now, I'm also on Facebook, and I've got some really cool groups that I interact with. One in particular, it's mine, is great. A lot of great communication. I'll put a link up here on the screen, so check that out. Facebook, I'm there at facebook.com/eBEFOREi. I'm on Twitter at eBEFOREiNet. And again, thank you so much. We'll see you back here again real soon.